Hello, everybody. I'm Eni from KNAF, and we are so delighted you've joined us today to celebrate Michelle Zauner's memoir, Crying in H Mart, with a very special guest, Maangchi. Thank you to our retail partners now serving in Los Angeles and Book Larder in Seattle, two fantastic cookbook stores. You can purchase signed copies of Crying in H Mart from both stores, as well as Maangchi's cookbooks. Links are in the chat. Thank you so much for supporting these wonderful independent bookstores. Before we get started, I want to remind everyone to toggle the chat down there from panelists, which is the default, to panelists and attendees, so you can all engage with one another in the chat and maybe even make some friends. And now for our guests. Michelle Zauner is a singer and guitarist who creates dreamy, shoegaze-inspired indie pop under the name Japanese Breakfast. She has won acclaim from major music outlets around the world for releases like Psycho Pump and Soft Sounds from Another Planet. Her latest album, Jubilee, is out in June. Crying in H Mart, her first book, is an unflinching, powerful memoir about growing up Korean American, losing her mother, and forging her own identity. Hello, Michelle.
Hi.
Maangchi is the author of 2 best-selling cookbooks, and she teaches a Korean cooking on her extremely popular YouTube channel and blog, and I personally love her content on TikTok. So over to you, Maangchi and Michelle.
So this is right.
Hi, Maangchi.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. How are you doing today?
I'm so good. Yeah, I'm so good, and I'm happy, excited to meet you. This is my first Zoom. So many people want to talk to me through Zoom, but this is the first time. That's exciting.
No, I feel so lucky that you joined my Zoom. I know that it's I'm a very lucky person to have your first appearance on Zoom.
I'm lucky too because you invited me. Thank you. So now everybody's watching us now.
I think everybody's watching us now.
I like to see all these guys' face.
Only our face, though. They're only in the chat box.
I think from all around the world.
Yeah, I think from all around the world. I mean, you have so many fans from all over the world, and they're here to see us make your apple samjang. I'm so excited to make this recipe. I've never made this recipe before.
That's so easy, and also this is for you, and also today who is watching the Zoom our talk, and this is like a really easy, simple, and delicious, and also healthy. So just this is, lettuce. Everybody loves lettuce, right? Healthy food. So we gotta make this, we gotta eat this and make some samjang and rice. You made white rice?
I made white rice in my cuckoo also.
Yeah, just as we planned, I made multigrain rice. So we can show that all this, our audience, right?
I so wish that I could be eating your multigrain rice instead, though. It's so nice. I actually remember I had no idea how to make lavender rice until I watched your videos and learned that it's just you add a little bit of black rice and it makes this beautiful lavender color.
Just black rice. So if you add too much, the color is too dark, real black. But if we use just a little bit, color turned lavender color. Really,
it's very beautiful. Yeah, I had it growing up my whole life, but I never knew how to make it until I watched your video. So
I think
so many gifts to me.
You will learn so quickly because you were raised by your mom's Korean food. So just everything is easily approached to you. So are you ready?
I'm ready when you are.
First, I like to talk to everybody. Hey, I cannot see you guys' face, but thank you for coming. So Michelle I love Michelle. She's just, Korean daughter. She is. She's, raised by Korean moms, the cooking. And after mom passed, she just, she kind of felt that everything lost about Korean. But she learned the Korean cooking and then taste the food, and the mom, she thinking about mom. So I'm proud of her because she likes to connect all this culture. So I'm really, really honored to be here and honored to meet all of you guys. So that's it. So thank you for coming and let's get started. So this is apple ssamjang. Usually ssamjang is very salty and I make a ssamjang, but today's ssamjang is special. So I'm using apple instead of sugar. So nobody likes to add sugar these days. So I'm using very small apple. Did you prepare apple, Michelle?
I got a Fuji apple.
Fuji, me too.
Okay.
That's cool. Yeah, so Fuji apple, any kinds of apple good. But the reason I like a Fuji apple is very crispy, crispy. But you can use also honey crispy, and also royal gala, everything. So I'm going to use this small one. We need around 1 cup, so like if your apple is too big, you gotta cut it in half. So I will use, this is small, I'm going to use. Let's just peel. Yeah. Okay.
I'm so jealous actually that you are so good at peeling with a big knife.
Don't
but
worry.
I have to use a peeler.
Why tools are invented? So, because people take advantage of this. But for me, just the tool is
so professional.
No, looking for tool takes more time for me. So just using knife, all one knife. Even today, I have some. This knife is for my fruit, but usually
special fruit knife.
I just use my kitchen knife.
I know, I've seen it. I'm so impressed with your knife skills. Well, I haven't peeled an apple long.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'm so slow.
Okay.
Even
Our apples are ready. So we gotta chop it up into small pieces. So yeah, you know that, eh? Slice like a thinly, like this.
Wow, David is so pro.
Yeah. Be careful, finger.
Well, my first cooking demo. When did you invent this dish, Maangchi?
When I made my first cookbook. So I wanted to make around it at the time, summertime, I wanted to make something like really some special one. But this ssamjang is just okay, even for myself, I wanted to make something healthy. So what about the apple crispiness and the apple sweetness? So it can be replaced, for sugar. So I just made that, and also doenjang, the fermented bean paste is very salty, so it's going to dilute. And then one day I just do some experiment couple of times. It turned out so good. I couldn't wait to release that recipe. So anyway, so we gotta chop it up into small pieces.
Do you chop it like little square piece?
Yeah, it's like cubes, really tiny cubes. If this is too big, it's ugly. Plus, also it's not going to, the sweetness is not coming to doenjang. So it has to be really small.
Are you using your homemade doenjang today?
Yeah. Today I'm using my homemade doenjang.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
Sometimes, so you are living in New York, and then I can make you taste my doenjang.
Yeah, I really want to try your doenjang. I so love your doenjang video because you use the electric blanket like there's little brick baby.
In Korea, we use just the heated floor. Every family had the heated floor. So naturally, we could make no problem. Usually, doenjang is made during the winter time. But in New York City, I don't have the heated floor, so I use the electric mat. It works so perfectly.
Yeah, it's so cute. They're like your little children.
Yes.
How long has your doenjang been fermenting? How old is it?
1 year.
1 year. 1 year
1
old baby.
year fermentation. After that, smells so good, pungent, really good.
Do you use it for doenjang jjigae also? Use it for everything.
doenjang jjigae, ssamjang, but I also buy store-bought doenjang because when I develop the recipe, I cannot use my homemade doenjang. because a lot of you guys, home, so you don't have a
different.
homemade doenjang. So that's why when I developed the recipe, I just have to use store-bought doenjang. But for myself, the homemade doenjang, amazing. You guys should
so
make.
good.
You guys should make. Yeah, a lot of my
That's
readers
my-
are these days making. They make.
Because
So-
everyone has so much time right now.
Okay, are you done?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'll just ignore this
Chop
piece.
it up really more.
Okay.
Chop it up, chop. Be careful, finger.
You're so fast, Maangchi.
I read that your book. In the book, your mom is when she was when she was alive, like always she was like a beauty focused. So when you are laughing, kind of you give just make a wrinkle. So she just rubbing your face. And
Did
then,
you grow up like that also?
I
Did
read
your mom
this.
ever do
And
that?
then, actually, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing to the daughter, right?
Don't make wrinkle.
Don't frown. The frown is going to sit,
But now that I'm in my early 30s, when I look in the mirror, I think, oh, maybe if my mom didn't do that, I would have worse wrinkles on my forehead. So now I'm very glad that she did that.
You don't have any wrinkle.
I do.
Anyway, here, so let's say add
Put it
this.
in bowl.
Yeah, let's add this here.
I hope mine is small enough. Wow. Oh, yours looks so much smaller than mine. Mine will be chunky style.
That's okay. Next time, doing. See, these are leftover things.
Oh,
Always this
The
is a
sound
bonus.
went away.
This is a bonus.
Does
You have one?
everyone else hear her?
Yeah. So, and here.
Oh, hold on, Maangchi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Uh-oh. Yeah, the sound went away.
Oh, she can.
Oh, we can still hear her. Oh,
Yeah.
1 second. I'm having technical difficulty. Maybe we just turn. What do I do to get it on? Hold on 1 second. My AirPod is clogged.
Who's this? Who's this person?
Why is this? The AirPod right there.
So you guys, while you guys are fixing, are you fixing now? Done? Can you hear?
Yeah, can you hear me? But
Yeah.
This, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Nice.
Okay.
Very
Okay,
nice.
tech support. Thank you, IT man.
So here, first, let's do this 2 garlic cloves and 2 green onions. All I washed this and smash this and chop it up.
Okay.
Everybody, okay. I can hear you just smashy sound. So, camera, can you put it the camera a little bit? So you guys are now watching this, watching our Zoom. So you guys are making this, you too. Just bring your chopping board and then make this. And let's eat together, just virtually.
It's the perfect dish for
Let's eat
the
together.
springtime. Oh, and then you chop the green onion in together.
Yeah. Be careful.
Oh, so
I feel like you are just standing right next to me. That's why I said be careful, just automatically.
oh, I wish I can't wait for us to get together again. Actually, Maangchi had me for dinner at her apartment on my 30th birthday, and I had the most delicious bulgogi and her kimchi, and it was such a wonderful, special birthday. I will remember it forever.
We had a great time. So you just okay, you are doing well chopping. I will just wash my hands quickly. Okay, 1 second.
Okay. It will always be a little bit behind Maangchi. Okay.
So
Mine will
chopping
just
all
be a
done.
little bit of a chunky style.
So you guys at home, are you following us? Just look at this. This is, the chopped apple and apple, garlic, green onion. So chop it up really in small pieces. And
That smells really good.
all the knife job is done. So we are going to use all this salty stuff here. And let's add the doenjang quarter cup. This is my homemade doenjang.
Oh, that looks so
Yeah.
good. It looks like a totally different color than my doenjang. Mine is like really dark.
That doenjang is also good. Yeah, store-bought. So quarter cup. Quarter cup. And gochujang, hot pepper paste, 1 tablespoon.
What brand do you buy, Maangchi?
I like Sempyo. So
Sempyo?
Sempyo is a color is very red color, but people, it depends on people's choice.
Sempyo.
Yeah, some people like that more, some kind of a pungent, kind of even the color is a little darker. But my choice is Sempyo because you remember my grocery shopping walk through the video, and I with my 5 of my readers, we went together Korean grocery shopping. So that video is 4 videos, on YouTube now.
Which one did you go to?
We went to the not H Mart, Hanam chain, New Jersey. So we went there, and just we tasted all kind of stuff, this and that, and everybody's a different choice. But my choice is this color. Color is very bright red, so Sempyo, I like it. And then now salty stuff is here, and here's and then after that, the sesame oil, generously 1 tablespoon.
I love sesame oil.
Ready to at the same time. Ready, go.
Okay.
And sesame seeds, toasted sesame seeds, 1 teaspoon.
Oh, generous.
Yeah, 1 teaspoon. And then mix.
Oh, it smells so good.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
sesame oil smells so good. So you just mix it, gently mix this. And first it's going to be very like a thick, but soon
oh my gosh, it smells so nice.
The apple sweetness is coming out. So, and also it's going to be thinner sooner or later.
Wow. You must have felt so brilliant when you invented this.
This is nothing. So when you think about this invention, how can I say this is an invention, But nobody else made this, but I was.
That's an invention. What was the most difficult recipe that you've made for your book that took the longest time to create?
Oh, a lot. Sometimes really, really frustrating. I had to make it like several times and it doesn't work. And sometimes work, especially like a measurement, because of a measurement, too many recipes I'm writing down and, making. And then sometimes I get confused. Half a cup or 1/3 cup. I just got confused. And then I have to start all the way. And then by myself, I'm just blaming myself, but too late, So,
which one, do you remember which one is the most takes the longest time, is like the most frustrating, difficult recipe?
I think that there was some, what was it, 탈보채? This kind of Chinese Korean food. And it was a big platter. But I had to make that, all the seafood was just each one. I had to make this separately, handle separately. It's one of the ingredients is what is it? Cucumber, sea cucumber.
Oh, yeah.
In Korean, hesam.
My mom really likes that one.
Yeah, and then dried one. So dried one is really, really dry. This I had to soak this and boil, soak. It takes a long time.
Yeah, that sounds very difficult.
Very like challenging, you know. Look at that. So
Oh,
yeah,
it looks so good. Mine is maybe a little chunkier.
you just keep you know stirring. It'll be good.
Mine is very rustic style.
Contemporary style.
And the sound is really nice too.
Yeah. Show this one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
We put some nicely.
Wow. It looks so good. I'm so excited to eat this.
Made this nice, eh? So you can sprinkle some more sesame seeds if you want. Let's see. Here you go. And then are you ready to? Hey, wow, nice. So, you know, any vegetarians or vegans, they will love this recipe because we can eat with rice and all kinds of, you know, vegetables. So, you know, together you can wrap this. So we call this sambap. Sambap is a rice wrapped rice with the samjang. But today is apple samjang. Everybody, you guys should make it.
You should make it. It's very easy and it looks delicious and healthy.
Yeah. Bring some rice, please.
Okay.
This I used my rice cooker. Get this.
I also use my rice.
Yeah. Show me your rice, please.
This is my rice. Yours looks so much better than mine. Mine's just white rice. Oh.
You have a spoon?
I have a spoon. I have a spoon. I prepared so many vegetables because I wanted to look like a pro.
Oh, can you show me?
Yeah, these are
Wow.
an entire crudité of weird things that maybe you don't
What is it, like a tomato?
I have tomatoes, I have carrots, and some cucumbers and radishes and bell peppers, but it's mostly just for appearances.
That's, you know, colorful, pretty. So you can also dipping sauce. You can use this as a dipping sauce. Yeah, that's right. Green chili pepper.
So this is from, I live in a Mexican neighborhood or a Hispanic neighborhood. And so I got this Mexican chili pepper, but it looks so much like a Korean chili pepper. I thought maybe it's
this is a
similar.
big one.
Yeah.
So even Korean H Mart they sell. This, and that's my favorite. Even a lot of Korean immigrants, they loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it because the pepper is very thin and very crispy. So, okay, everybody, you guys also, can you make this? Everybody, you guys just make this wrap, okay? Rice and samjang. This samjang is you don't have to be very stingy because we add lots of apple, so you can add a lot. Not very salty. Yeah. And then wrap. Yeah. And okay, eat. Michelle, say yeah. That's okay.
It's so good. Wow. It's so good, but it's so simple. And so many different flavors. It's a little bit spicy. a little bit salty, a little bit sweet. It's so delicious. I love it. You can eat this with anything. I think it would taste so good with like kalbi.
Kalbi?
Yeah, like some like have lettuce, kalbi. Oh, I'm gonna make this all the time. It's so good. My new favorite recipe.
That's good. I'm glad you like it. So,
I love all your recipes, Maangchi.
when I make this apple samjang, I just I'm ready to eat a lot of lettuce.
Yeah.
Lettuce and all vegetables, and then rice and wrapping, and then just eat. And when I make a kalbi, I just make a usual normal, the samjang. Normal samjang is just instead of using apple, I use sugar or honey, and then mixing. So
I think this is so delicious.
Because this is, you gotta just eat one seed, because it's the water is coming out sooner or later. So it doesn't look very delicious, So just eat.
That's fresh.
Finish eating, yeah. And I don't want to. I don't want to, the refrigerate. Samjang, normal samjang is you can refrigerate up to 7 days.
Yeah, yeah.
And you make it in just 7 days, no problem.
Good to eat this one fresh. I think that it's perfect if someone is making a garden for the summer. I can see you like on the patio with this one, with all the different vegetables you've grown, eating it fresh samjang with your fresh vegetables. I think that in the summertime, it sounds so nice. It's so delicious.
I hope everybody who watch this and you guys make this, I hope that you like this recipe.
I can't think of anyone who wouldn't love this recipe.
Some people who love meat. I need meat. Both kind of people. Maangchi, what happened? I need meat.
It's good for diversity. Thank you so much for teaching me how to make this one.
Oh, you are welcome. So I had a great time. That's good. I think that I'm surprised. I feel like that you are standing next to me. I can see all of this. I can see investigating your rice and everything,
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's cool. I can do some cooking class like that.
Yeah. Your book is so well loved in my house. I have like kimchi stains like all over this cookbook.
I gotta show you a book.
But do you remember maybe when was the year that I met you? I think was maybe 2015.
2015.
2015, I went. Where was that Q&A with Hooney Kim?
That's 90 seconds.
92nd Street. Yeah, I went and saw Maangchi do a Q&A, and I remember because I had blonde hair. And the girl who was doing my hair, she made a mistake, and so it was really damaged, and it actually was purple at the time.
I remember you were so pretty. So I thought that, Korean food makes us so pretty. My readers, whenever I meet on the street, they just recognize me. And then one common point is that everybody is good looking. So weird. Everybody.
Well, I have good looking fans.
Yeah.
Is it sometimes difficult to have so many people who feel so close to you? Is it strange? Did you expect so many people to feel so close to you?
I'm so happy. Those guys think that I'm their Maangchi is my aunt. My mom.
Maangchi imo.
Yeah, imo, aunt. So they just when they see me. And even I never met their face. I never met them, but they feel that they met me for years. And years. So, Maangchi. And then same time, me too. I do. Because I know how they feel. Yeah. Anyway, Michelle, I just, today I read your book, From the very first, it says for Amma. Amma is a mom, so we call this a more like adult word, 어머니. But Amma is all the time, Amma means that no matter how old you are, no matter who you are, we all of us have Amma. It's a mom. So when I read even from the first page, I felt so emotional. So you said for 엄마. So everybody who watch this, you guys also feel the same way, you know. Our 엄마 is amazing. Our 엄mas are amazing, right? Yeah, so cool. So that story is so funny. A lot of things are later when we meet, I can talk about this.
감사합니다, 망치 이모.
Thank you.
Michelle and Maangchi, thank you so much for that wonderful recipe demo. We have so many questions coming in, and I want to try to make sure we get to as many as possible. And we actually have one that ties in so well, Maangchi, to what you were just saying. Christina says, hi, Michelle and Maangchi. What's your favorite food that reminds you of your Uma?
Maangchi, do you want to go first?
That's my favorite food when?
That reminds you of your 엄마.
Oh, my mom loves the, you know, the raw fish. Raw fish 회. So whenever I eat here, sometimes, you know, sushi, or whenever I make some kind of raw fish things, I think about my mom. But my mom also feel the same way. So my mom said, you know, she's living in California, Los Angeles. So she's you know, more like a raw seafood, you know, some fresh food. And then whenever they eat, and they think about me. So food is connecting us. So I think about my mom, mom think about me. How about you?
I always think of jjampong. My mom loved jjampong. And every time we went to you know, there were maybe only 2 Korean restaurants in the town where I grew up. And she would always order jjampong before, you know, she never ate anything else. And she always asked for extra vegetables. And she just loved jjampong. It's like a seafood noodles, spicy seafood noodles soup for people who might not know.
Great, yeah.
That sounds delicious. Michelle, we have a question for you. Joseph says, thank you so much for sharing your world to us with your book. Just wanted to ask how the writing process was. What parts did you wish you included, but just could not?
Yeah, that's a great question. I feel like towards the end, I just got so tired of the book that, you know, there were certain things that I wanted to explore that just would have taken too long. But my mom used to have, one of the funny things that I really wanted to include, but maybe was not so important, was that my mom used to have one best friend whose name was Youngsun. And she was a Korean adoptee. And I thought she was very funny because she had a German Shepherd that she was obsessed with, and they had very similar hair. She like dyed her hair like a German Shepherd. And she also tattooed her eyebrows, but one of them was always kind of like quirked because it wasn't done very well. But they got into a very small fight, and my mom just cut her out of her life and was so stubborn about never like talking to this woman again over this very small fight. And later on, my aunt told me actually my halmoni, my grandmother, had the same exact thing with her friend. And my mom on her deathbed said to me, make sure Youngsun doesn't come to the funeral. And I told that story to my kunimo, and she was like, you know, your grandmother said the exact same thing to me about her friend. And I just thought that sort of like generational stubbornness was really funny. I really wanted to include it, but I was at my wit's end with the book, and it was just such a long process that I let it die.
Noah asks, can you both speak about what the phrase sonma means to both of you?
손맛.
엄마?
손맛.
손맛.
Maangchi, you must get. Sonmat is like hand taste, like the taste of a hand, and I guess it's kind of like, you know, you can make the exact same. You can follow the exact same recipe, or like, you know, make something the exact same way, but there's always something missing, like the taste of someone's hand is just like this mysterious thing that handled it, and no two people will make the same thing even with the same ingredients and the same recipe. Kind of like, you know, in a lot of ways what I'm chasing for in this book is remembering that my mom's 손맛, but I can never quite get there because, you know, even though we're similar, it's very different. What do you think?
I think that the Americans all around the world, the people are the same. you know, somebody's apple pie is some special, you know. So that kind of 손맛, you know, so is a, you know, 손맛 is that kind of meaning is in all around the world. But when I was, you know, the high school, we talk about 손맛 with my friends. So high school alumni, my friends. So the one girl was so funny. She's now just Ohio now. And she used to say that, you know, 손맛, everybody's 손맛 means that 손맛 under your finger, some dirty, like a some solid stuff there. That's what we need, plus alpha, you know. Kind of we joking around. But 손맛 means, as Michelle says, just same food you made, kimchi, same kimchi you made. How come Maangchi's kimchi is so tasty? I used to be called the Maangchi, kimchi imo. My friend, you know, she's living in LA, Los Angeles, and she has children, all adult children. And last one, youngest one was when I met her, just a high school student at the time, decades ago. And I made some gelato, Korean gelato style, very spicy, you know, kimchi, and made this with lots of the fish sauce. And she loved it. She said, oh, the kimchi imo, kimchi aunt. So anyway, now on YouTube, my kimchi recipe video #1, right? You know, view is like 20 million, you know? So I'm really, yeah, kimchi imo is on YouTube. So I think that the 손맛 means that some certain food somebody makes very better than other people. So, oh, that's 손맛. Yeah. Mom's 손맛, you know. So everybody different. Yeah.
Maangchi, Jason says, as a vegan, I'm very grateful that you include vegan recipes in your cooking. Would you ever consider writing a full Korean vegan cookbook?
Oh, you know, I'm just thinking about, but actually, all of my readers who vegan, they make veganize my things. Even the one day I met you know, he's living in Florida, and he told me, Maangchi, I made your chicken just a vegan version. So I said, what? How did you make a vegan version? And he said, oh, I used the 닭강정. He used some the ginger, and then ginger candy, make it like a candied ginger, and plus he added some the broccoli, the cauliflower, the white cauliflower.
Oh yeah,
I made this, you know. So a lot of my readers even the meat they change it to veganize, and I think they have no problem once you get it. And also I have a vegetable stock recipe. My second book has included vegetable stock. So because the reason I made this is for vegan or vegetarian people. When you make a kimchi, I always use fish sauce, fermented fish. But without this issue, I should make some delicious kimchi. So that's why vegan style kimchi, they have to make a vegetarian stock first, so that the kimchi is more like a kind of a savory taste. Yeah. But let me think about, writing cookbook is not easy. Oh, not easy. So 2015, my first book, 2019, second book. And just, I think I have some arthritis after this. My fingers are every morning, I cannot, just bend easily. So I stiff hands. So I gotta relax a little bit.
It's a lot of hard work. Michelle, we have another question for you. Sita asks, when did you start writing Crying in H Mart, and what inspired you to write it? Also, how did your friends and family feel about you writing a book?
I started writing the book in 2015, and actually the first essay that I wrote that was published in Glamour was called Love, Loss, and Kimchi, and I wrote it pretty much as just an ode to Maangchi. It was about, I just thought it was a really cute story. It was like Korean Julie and Julia, and this woman who'd never met me, who had come to mean so much to me in such a difficult time in my life and really helped me. And so that was the sort of beginning of that process. And then after writing that piece and the response that it got, I felt like I realized there was so much more of a story there and so much unpacking left to do. And so From 2016 to 2020, I pretty much have been working casually and not so casually on the book for about four or 5 years. Yeah.
Wow, long time.
Long time.
Yeah, long time. Yeah.
Michelle, Riley says, I want to thank you so much. Your music and your words have gotten me through some rough times. As a fellow Korean American, I wanted to know, how was it being in Korea for the first time as a child? I know you were born there, but you may have memories later on.
As a child, how was it as a child? I mean, it was just delightful as a child. I think especially because I grew up in a small town in Oregon. It was just so fun to get to visit a city and have a totally different experience because my family lives in Seoul, and also because I come from a really small family and I'm an only child. I got to all of a sudden be around my two imos and my harmony and my cousin, and we were all in this tiny apartment together. And so I had such a joyful experience, and I was so like catered to and coddled as a kid over there in this way that my mom sometimes didn't have the patience for when we were at home. So I just loved I got to go to Korea every other summer, and I spent, it was very much like a second home to me. And yeah, I mean, it was such a privileged upbringing to get to do that every other year.
And Aurora wants to know, Maangchi and Michelle, what are each of your favorite Korean dishes?
Maangchi.
I have so many favorite dish. So like, the Korean food, the good thing about Korean food is so many different varieties, and seafood, meat, or even lots of vegetables, and also soup and stew, one bowl meal, so many. So that's why I, sometimes I feel like, oh, bibimbap. And then I make bibimbap. And then, okay, today's I'm going to eat the apple sssamjang with the lettuce. And tomorrow maybe, oh, I feel like some seafood. Okay, some mackerel, salty mackerel, pan fry. And all the time changing. So I eat all kinds of food, right? So that's why, so, I cannot say that which one is like my most favorite, but many people know about this, because in the video I said, oh, eggplant, steamed eggplant, gajinamul. The gajinamul this is my favorite. I said that, and everybody remember this. Maangchi says gajinamul is her favorite. Me too. People are just showing their like a gajinamul photo, some on their social media. So that's why, especially gajinamul, and also I love that, and all kinds of food. I love it. How about Michelle?
Mine is ganjang-gaejang, I think. Oh. I really, really miss. I feel like I can't get good ganjang-gaejang with the soy sauce marinated crab, raw crab, and the roe. I miss that taste so much, and I feel like I can't get that taste anywhere but in Korea. I tried to make it, but I failed. I don't know what I did wrong.
I have a recipe.
I know I followed the recipe. I think I'm confused something, and I also think that maybe the crab that I got was not very good. But I love that so much. Yeah.
Live crab, and also that ganjang-gaejang is a kind of a challenging thing for me, because people think that when I kill the crabs, I had to put it in the freezer.
Yeah.
But my mom's way is that just the killing live one. So I told my
mom, aren't they moving?
Oh, she knows how to handle this. It's just under control. The crab is just like kind of under control. My mom is like a small hand, and then the crab cannot move at all, and then she just cut it off, and make.
Maangchi, do you like your Korean food more or your mom's Korean food?
My own food. My kimchi is better. Yeah, but
does she think so too?
She handles much better than me. So very skillful, because we were living in like a harbor city, and my father's job was also relating to seafood. So I asked her, this is a funny story. I asked my mom before I made my ganjang-gaejang recipe, Mom, I don't know, people are going to think I'm so cruel. I don't know how to handle this, but some people keep asking me, requesting this recipe. My mom said, oh, don't show the killing scene there. So kill someone else, and then you make it. So my mom doesn't know what's going on. This
Yeah.
That's so funny. And
Does she like your food? Or does she think she makes better
she
food?
loves my food. She loves my food. Even these days, she called me, "Hey, how do you make the mashed
Oh,
potato?"
wow, real reversal.
Yeah, she asked me because when you get older, you just forget, So when you get older, you forget, what was it, So even myself, and I have been doing 14 years. So 14 years ago, I made the first recipe. Video is blurry, but recipe by itself is so good. So sometimes I visit there, okay, well, how I made this, and then I'm just learning by myself. So never forget, because this is my kind of, all my life history. This recipe on YouTube is that just all my story, and any authentic Korean dishes just provided, so everybody can learn. Yeah, even after I die. Yeah, I hope so.
You'll live forever in your videos.
Lily says, thank you to both Michelle and Maangchi for an amazing recipe demo. I wanted to ask Michelle, how was the writing process for Crying in H Mart similar to or different from the writing process for Psychopomp?
I think that for writing Psychopomp, it was like such a private, immediate thing, I feel like it just came out really quickly in a way, and it was more playful and also haphazard. And I think that writing songs has like a sort of impressionistic quality, and it's nice because there's a lot less words and you can kind of just write freely and in fragments, and you can't really do that with a book, and it takes a lot more work and time and revision and sort of a more like brainy analytical part of you. But I learned so much in the process of writing this book, and I think also part of it is I've written a lot more records and songs, and so I feel more comfortable with that. And now that I've written this book, I feel able to take on writing another one in a way that maybe I'd have more strength and courage in taking on. But I've definitely never felt as stupid as I have in writing a book.
We have an anonymous question. They want to know if there are plans to translate your book in Korean. They say, I also grew up with a Korean mom and have limited Korean proficiency. I would love to share your book with my mom.
Yeah, actually, there is going to be Korean translation, and I realized I didn't answer the question earlier, but my I don't have much family left, and I have like some of my family have read it. I think my dad's read it, and my aunt doesn't speak English at all, and so I'm a little bit nervous and also very excited for her to get to read the Korean translation. There's a Korean publisher called Munhak Donghae, and I think the translation takes about a year. So I think that maybe next year there will be a Korean translation. I can't wait to see it. Also, I've noticed that like Korean book covers are so different than American book covers. So I'm really curious like what the different styles will be. Like it's very, they're a little bit more like soft looking and like more like there's more cartoons and stuff. So I'm excited to see like how they do the cover.
I'm sure it'll be a big hit.
I hope so.
Yeah. For very last of a lot of interesting stories inside.
Alyssa says, as a Korean adoptee raised by a single white mom, I'm learning a lot about Korean culture through your book. Do you know what your next writing project will be? Do you write fiction too?
Yeah, I studied fiction writing in college, and I always thought that I might write fiction. Maybe someday. I don't really, I might just do one of those things where I kind of take parts of my life and turn it into fiction and hide behind that after, we'll see what the response to this book is and whether or not I flee in that direction. But I think a very natural jumping off point from this book is my interest in Korean language as a new sort of thing to tackle. And I would love to move to Korea for a year and document my process learning the language, because I feel like if I never make it into a project, it might not happen. And my mom always used to say to me, like, you know how to read and write, your pronunciation is pretty good. Like, I think if you just lived in Korea for 6 months to a year, you would become fluent. And so I would love to test out that theory and document that process. And also, I think after writing Crying in H Mart, and so much of it is about writing about memory. I really long to just write something and that's sort of happening in real time, because I think it would be a lot easier.
Julianne wants to know if either of you like to listen to music while you cook, and if so, what do you listen to?
Do you have some favorite musical artists that you listen to when you are cooking?
These days, you. And also I just I kind of sometimes I focus on my cooking or whatever, and then some quiet. So I like to be quiet. Yeah.
Maangchi, do you know the artist Shin Jung-hyun?
Oh yeah.
Oh. So actually, in my book, we talk about Shin Jung-hyun at the end. And do you know the Pearl Sisters?
Pearl Sisters?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Coffee 한 잔.
Coffee 한 잔. Yeah. So in the end of my
I think you should make that song.
Yeah, actually, I have a cover of that song. I'll send it to you. But my mom and my imo told me that at 노래방 they used to sing Coffee 한 잔 together. And she was like, "Oh, you need." At the end of this is a spoiler alert, but that song is very important for the end of my book. So I was wondering if you listen to that band.
Oh, I love that Shin Jung-hyun music.
Yeah,
that music is so cool.
Do you know Kim Jung-mi?
Kim Jung-mi?
Kim Jung-mi.
She's
one of his singers. He wrote the song called "햇님" for her. That's so beautiful. I'll have to send it to you.
Maybe recent singer. So
yeah, maybe more recent. Yeah.
All the age. So I don't follow this. But Pearl Sisters. Yeah. That's cool. If you make it, so it'll be really popular, I think. Yeah. In America. Yeah.
I'm nervous about my pronunciation.
Oh, you did a good job, and I saw that a lot of Korean languages in your book.
Yeah.
Yeah. 맛있어요, something like that. 마셔요. Drink.
We have another anonymous.
You always spoke Korean?
In my house?
Yeah, your mom, when she was alive, you guys spoke in Korean?
We didn't speak in Korean much because she was very nervous. I think that my dad would feel excluded. So we spoke a little bit. Sometimes we had like, if I was misbehaving, we had like a danger word with the Korean word of like.
위험.
What is it?
위험해.
Yeah. But she would say, when I was like really getting close to the edge of, in trouble, she would say, 땅콩. And I knew if she said 땅콩 that I was in trouble. Peanut was our code word of like, you're about to get it if we were in a public.
I think she made her own word.
Yeah, she made her.
We have another anonymous question. Can you both explain a little bit more about what Korean food has meant to you in terms of connection and relationships across generations or cultures?
Oh, serious question.
Yeah, Korean food is just, very like easily you can share together. So like, for example, some soup, when I make a radish, beef radish soup, and we make a lot of, and then like you feed 10 or 20 people together. And so that's a kind of a communal, like really, really easily we can make this. And the relationship is through this kind of food. So for example, for me, I make some Korean bibimbap. Bibimbap is a spicy mixed noodles. My aunt, she passed maybe 5 years ago, and she in Korea. And then when I lived in Korea, I just visited her house with all my family, my mom, sisters, and to her house. She had her own children, maybe 10 children. So we are like so many people in one small room. She is never rich, kind of poor, among our aunts. And on that day, she had to feed lunch, all of us. And she just made the noodles. So she cooked the noodle a lot, so the noodles, and then rinse in cold water, make it chewy, and then chopped kimchi and Korean gochujang and sesame oil, a little bit sugar. And then she used her bare hands and then mix it, like a kind of a large, like a basin. And noodles, kimchi, hot pepper paste, and sesame oil, and sugar, and sesame seeds. And then she just using her hand. That was really impressive for me. And I tasted this, amazing. So I'm kind of a person like some delicious, really beautiful decoration. That's the kind of it's kind of food is okay. That's okay food. But something like my late aunt food, never forget. Even yesterday, I made the, this bibimbap all the time. Once a week, at least, I make this bibimbap. Every time I make, I just I remember the scene. My aunt, made using bare hand, and then whole using, hands, and then just all share together. So what I did was 2011, I went to 갑시다 trip, so Europe. I traveled to Europe, and there was, I think, the Netherlands. So Netherlands, one of my, readers' house, I went there, and there was like 50, 60 people came to her house. That's our middle. So I was thinking about, okay, just like my aunt Eugene, and then we made it, a lot of bibimbap. And then just like my my aunt did it, I did it. All people, some small cute cup, and then some I gave it to them, and everybody enjoyed this. So this is all the any food is just my life. Food is my life, and all I can remember, and this is my life. Yeah, my life history. Yeah.
Yep. For me, I feel like I never really questioned my Korean identity. It always felt like a very natural part of who I was. And it wasn't until my mom passed away that all of a sudden I felt this threat that maybe if she's gone, does her family even belong to me? Does this culture even belong to me? And so I feel like so much of writing this book was proving to myself that I have to work at it now. I have to more actively engage in that part of my culture in order to preserve it. And it's also become a really important sort of private ritual for myself every day to take, 30 minutes or an hour making something. And it's like a ritual of I'm making something, but in my mind, I'm thinking of my mother. I'm thinking about the dishes that we used to eat when I was a kid, and I'm sort of preserving her memory by putting work into something that reminds me of her, and that's what food has come to mean to me.
That connection is so important. Well, we're just about at time, so thank you so much to both of you for such a beautiful cooking and celebration together tonight. Thank you everyone for joining us and for all of your amazing questions. We got to as many as we could. And please remember to buy Michelle's book and Maangchi's cookbooks from our wonderful bookstore partners tonight as well.
That's great.
Thank you so much, Maangchi. I know that you rarely do this, and so I really, really appreciate you making the time and exception for me. It means so much to me in my life. You know that already. And thank you very much for now serving.
Thank you for inviting me, Michelle. Congratulations again. And then people who watch us, just okay, happy cooking, everybody. Thank you for coming.
Happy cooking, everybody.